What's up? I'm B and welcome to my channel where we debunk harmful personal development and religious norms. Today we are reacting to a collaboration that many are probably shocked actually happened, but because of recent history, I think a lot of us also saw it coming and we're here for it. Jaclyn Glenn, Paul and Morgan, they're buddies now. We're going to get into that, but first I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who donated items to Arizona Helping Hands. I recently took everything over there and just opening it up, putting it in my car, and being able to go take it over to Arizona Helping Hands and know that it is going to such a good cause was incredible. And the fact that y'all donated, like people on the internet, we came together, we had a common cause, and we donated together to help people that we don't even know. It's really cool. It's incredible. I'm feeling warm and fuzzy, so go ahead and take a look at that. Alright, so it is Thursday, December 2nd, which means the official time for me promoting, pushing, asking y'all to donate to Arizona Helping Hands has come to an end. I will be taking all of these donations to Arizona Helping Hands so that way they can distribute them in time for Christmas, but I just wanted to go through and open these packages. I want to actually see what got donated and not just like show a bunch of boxes. So let's get into them. Okay. Oh, look, we've got a little note. Oh my god. This first one's from my dad. Okay, so I'm assuming my mom and dad both did this. We've got some stickers in here, the vinyl stickers that they can put on like their water bottles or binders. Super cute. And then they sent an Amazon gift card and the 3D lamp Willow Sun. Oh, you know what? I bet this is the baseball lamp where it has the baseball figure like swinging. Thank you to my parents. They're very sweet. Okay, these two right here got delivered today, so let's see what's in here. Okay, this is the necklace that my niece picked out. I can tell because it's the only piece of jewelry that was on the list. And the note says, enjoy your gift from Anonymous. Like, the more I think about it and the fact that I literally have a box full of presents from people who don't know the kids that these will be going to, and, you know, they won't get to see the kids open them. They won't get, for me, when I buy a gift, I love to see the face of the person I bought it for. I love to see them, like, open it and realize, oh my god, this is the thing that I've wanted. And so the fact that so many of you bought things and you will never see the face of the person who's opening it and appreciating it is just stunning to me. Okay, the next one is 48-piece floor puzzle from Anonymous. I would have loved for y'all to sign it so I could like recognize you in my chat. So cute. We got some scrunchies. Those are totally coming back in style. I love it. Oh, look at that. We got an Ulta gift card. Do you ever just think about, I mean, if you have foster kids, I'm sure you do, but you ever think about how there's just certain things that you see and you think, this kid never had that before. And you never thought about it until you did foster care. Getting a gift card to Ulta is just going to be such a treat. It's like devastating to think about, but I'm so happy that there's a kid out there who's going to get that and be able to buy whatever they want from Ulta. And to not only have something that they enjoy, but also, I was talking about this with my mom, they're going to be able to fit in with their friends. Because my mom was like, oh, should we get like fun stuff or the necessities like hygiene products? And I'm like, you know, I think a lot of people go to those hygiene products automatically. But at the end of the day, these kids just want to fit in with their friends. They want to have the same things as their friends. And that's so impactful and important in them developing and like their self-esteem and their pride. And so it's wild to think about. This is from Amanda Morris. Thank you so much, Amanda. We've got hair color comb. We've got the hair chalk. And then hair clips. Ah, I found a note. This is the one that my sister bought. Thank you, sister. This is Poppets. There's a note in here. Yay. This one says, thanks for what you do with your platform. We wish every child was loved and wanted, from the Radas. And they sent scrunchies. Oh, and they got the pens. Oh, Oh, so fun. And some stickers. This is gonna be so exciting. I love these gel pens. I have a set that's very similar from the same brand and they're so good. I love them. And we got some scrunchies. Thank you so much. And we got sketch pads. We've got some more pens. Yay. And the twistable colored pencils. I wish I had those. I know I had like a smaller version of this when I was a kid, but we got the big pack, the beefy one. So cool. I know that Lori, the person who I was speaking to from Arizona Helping Hands, specifically mentioned sketch pads and like markers, pens, colored pencils, all of that. So that will be very cool. This is the last of the packages. I did also get a few pull-ups, so thank you to whoever sent those. They literally just came as like the boxes of pull-ups, so I can't open it and see if there's like a gift receipt or a note, but whoever sent pull-ups, thank you so much. And last but not least, we have a Baby Yoda Poppet. And the note says, enjoy your gift, keep up the good work. I love your videos and I'm excited to support the cause. From Reevy Dollinger. Thank you so much. So sweet. Baby Yoda is literally everything these days. For Monks' birthday, we got him a little Baby Yoda that you press the hand and it spoke. And it had like a little carrying case, and when he opened it, he just screamed, "A Baby Yoda!" And he was so excited. Okay, I was thinking the only things left in the closet, because that's where I've been keeping everything, were the pull-ups and wipes that I bought, as well as the other pull-ups that got sent, but there's one more package. Oh, Kristen Rana, thank you so much again. Okay, so we've got some wipes. Oh, those Pampers. And pals. Oh, this is cute. I don't think I put this on here. What is this? Play Foam Pals. Oh my gosh, I bet you like surprise toy inside. Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet you either put this in water or like open it up and there's a little toy inside. That is so sweet. And with that, we have opened everything in here. So this is incredible. I am so excited. Arizona Helping Hands was a massive help to us in getting basic necessities, and we were fortunate enough that both my husband and I worked, and so we were able to afford toys and fun stuff and like take them to do things. Obviously, we took the kids to Disney, and that was all with our money. But there are a lot of people who get put in the position where out of the blue they get expected to take kids and their family, and they may be able to meet the like basic needs of the children, but as far as fun stuff goes, it's pretty scarce. So having all of these things, like just, I know you can't see all of it, but being surrounded by all of this incredible stuff for kids in foster care is really, really humbling. Also, in a previous video, I announced that I have launched my merch store, and I am wearing one of the designs right now. This is from the Face East collection. I really love it. It's just cute and sunny and fun. And if you want to get a shirt of your own, or if you want to get anything from the Mars collection or the Celebration collection, links are down below. So let's get into today's video. Now, a few months ago, we found out through Instagram that Jaclyn, Glenn, and her husband, as well as Paul and Morgan, met up to have dinner and kind of started this odd little friendship that you would not really expect to happen, because Paul and Morgan are very conservative. They are very traditional in their Christian beliefs, and they are very strong in those beliefs. And Jaclyn Glenn is an atheist and has made a lot of content criticizing Paul and Morgan, but apparently it went well. It started this budding little friendship, and it has only progressed from there. Now, I talked about them kind of teaming up to take on Jesse Lee Peterson a few weeks ago, and I was really just excited to see it. It's nice when you see people who have different views, different opinions, who have maybe not gotten along in the past and kind of had issues in the past, put those differences aside, come together and just be like, at the end of the day, we're all human, we're all people, and just because we've had these issues doesn't mean that we can't move forward in a positive way, and it doesn't mean that we can't stand together and speak out against harmful things. So that was really awesome to see. And now we've got another in-person teaming up of the two couples. Paul and Morgan stayed at Jaclyn Glenn's house. They hung out. They did collab videos. People had a lot of opinions about it. We will get to those at the end, but I think overall, it's a net positive that they are being friendly and they are hanging out. So we're going to watch Jaclyn Glenn's video, Paul and Morgan, My New Friends, and see what we think.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video on my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about Paul and Morgan because, whew, I got some stuff to say about them.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Paul and Morgan,
the Paul and Morgan Show.
And Jaclyn and David.
Oh, nice.
Perfect. All right, so never in a million years did I think we would all be sitting here making a video together, but here we are, and I know a lot of people are curious, so I kind of wanted to go through and just talk about how we actually came to meet in person and how things progressed from there to this point.
Yes, yes.
We're happy to be here with you, Jaclyn and David, and the Jaclyn Glenn fam. What's up, you guys? I really am happy. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're pumped. We also never thought in a million years that we would be here in their house, spending the night.
Yeah, I know. You guys survived.
We made it.
Made some nice brunch.
Yeah.
They have treated us so well, you guys.
Sushi, fondue.
Yeah, we played some video games.
Yeah.
Sounds like an amazing time. Also, I watched, because on Paul and Morgan's channel, they posted a marriage Q&A, and I also watched that. And I feel like I don't know a ton about David, Jaclyn's husband, but he seems like a really nice, genuine guy. There's just something about his energy that I'm like, I like him.
That was fun.
A few months back, Morgan reached out, and I totally didn't even know that she messaged me. And sorry.
Okay.
And David actually got a message and let me know that you wanted to hang out because you were going to be in Nashville.
Yep.
So we all got dinner and posted a picture, and that was received.
Yeah, interestingly.
I'll say it was received. Some people were happy, some people were less than thrilled. Since our last meeting, things have kind of changed in an interesting way. You guys got to have a conversation with the one, the only, Jessie Lee Peterson.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I still have PTSD from it, so I'm trying to recover.
Beta. Oh, we've been talking a lot about that, and we really wanted to know, do you guys like white people?
Oh dear. Please, no, don't ask me this ever again.
Paul, do you love white people?
Yes, I do.
How about you,
We love
Morgan?
all people. We love all the people.
Do you love white people?
I love all the people.
Do you love white people?
All the people.
How about white people?
Yup, them too.
One of many.
I did a video covering Jessie Lee Peterson. I'll link it up here. That was such an uncomfortable interview to watch because Jessie Lee Peterson obviously is not super progressive thinking, and they also had that conversation of, was it a mistake to let women become educated? So that tells you all you need to know about how Morgan was treated in that interview. But watching that kind of sparked me seeing Paul and Morgan in a bit of a new light because Paul very much defended his wife. He defended her. He did not make excuses for the things that they were saying to her or how they were treating her. And again, nobody was outright aggressive, but the things that they were saying were hurtful and they were hateful, and they were just treating Morgan like a little kid, like how you would talk to a child. And it seemed like they were almost trying to make her feel uncomfortable, Jessie Lee Peterson and his experts that came in towards the end. So it was not great. I can only imagine how she felt afterwards, but Paul did a really good job defending her, and she did an amazing job standing up for herself, obviously. But it was just nice to see Paul step in too and be like, you're not going to talk to my wife like that.
Interesting question.
And then re-asked it, and then re-asked it, and then re-asked it.
He was, stubborn, obstinate? What's the word for
what he was?
repetitive?
Yes.
I think people were pretty interested to see you guys actually willing to sit down and have a conversation that turned into kind of a debate. It got a little heated.
It did.
That was fun.
So how are your feelings on that? Being a Christian YouTube channel, having a conversation like that, did you ever think you'd essentially debate a preacher?
It is weird because like he used to be like a preacher.
He is a preacher, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Still, I know he goes to church. He said in his interview, every Sunday I go to church. We asked him.
The interview with Jesse Lee Peterson, yeah, like going into it, we were both like, all right, you know, he's got a really dedicated fan base. He's obviously very controversial, but he says some stuff that, I mean, I think we agree with. So we were hopeful, but we knew it could get interesting.
So to prepare for the interview, we watched your interview with him.
Yeah.
And
It was rough.
Yes, and so I was just like, man, I honestly, even all the preparing that we did not prepare us for the interview. Like, there are so many things that I just wish, like, going back, I'm like, oh man, I wish we had said this, I wish we had done this, like, whatever. And
one thing I like about it though is the viewers can watch and then you guys can decide. Like, Jesse was honest with his positions on everything from women voting to different faith elements, and to us and to Jaclyn and David, you know, atheist couple. I don't know if I don't want to speak for.
Well, why don't you explain?
I'm Jew.
You can tell that Jaclyn's like on edge, waiting to hear what Paul's gonna say, because Paul's like, oh, as the viewer, you can decide. Typically, I'm very much like, oh yeah, here's the facts, you make your mind up for yourself. But when it comes to Jesse Lee Peterson, I have no problem saying that the things that he says are hateful and harmful, and not great to listen to. So I would not recommend listening to him.
Jewish.
yeah.
And Judaism, well, there's sort of also a linear sort of heritage element to it too. So my whole family for however long has been Jewish, and it's also been a big part of me. Do I believe in God? Probably not. But have I learned a lot from the traditions and from the stories and from studying for my bar mitzvah and reading out of the Torah in front of my friends and family and having a party.
In Hebrew, right?
In Hebrew, and then teaching hundreds of kids to do that as well. So Judaism's been a big part of my life. Don't even get me started to talk about Jewish summer camp. It gets crazy.
Our podcast episodes go into those.
But anyway, so yeah, having, you know, where you guys are at, we're Bible-believing Christians, and it's like, whoa, we see some things, whether it comes to just, just these different, we see some things very differently than Jesse Lee Peterson. And what I like about doing the interview is you guys can decide from our perspectives, go back to the Bible and compare what he's saying, what we're saying, and pray on it. Consult people wiser than yourself and come up with where you stand.
You can just ask me. Yeah, I'm kidding.
He was a lot to handle.
I remember just the week after the interview, I literally I struggled with just like my view towards men in general.
Aww,
like
Jesse.
I was just so hurt by how they treated me. It was weird. And like, I don't know,
Oh, double hug.
I had never been treated like that by a group of men.
It was
and
pretty shocking.
In that way. Like, that was just a whole new experience, and I was just like, wow.
Did it feel that he was like able to speak to you in that way because of his beliefs, because of like his Bible element of it?
Yeah, I mean, just all of his views on women. I mean, like, and it just, when I even said, I think I said in our video, and I said to him, like, I feel like you hate women, and he was like, I don't hate women. I love women.
It's pretty good impression. I challenged you guys to make a video on him, and then it turned into this like sit down, like interesting, weird conversation with him.
Over an hour long.
Yeah, so you guys hang out with me one time, and you start debating preachers.
You know.
It worked out well.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. I can't make any
And
promises.
you hang out
but
with us, your kid's wearing a God's baby onesie.
that did happen. They bought us a baby onesie.
And
This part makes me so uncomfortable.
you guys were so sweet about it.
Yes. Open that one first. Sure.
Is this the funny one? Okay, I was told there was a funny one. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. All of God's grace in one little face.
Oh,
Right. Thank you. I love it.
really cute.
I'm gonna buy you guys some devil stuff pretty soon here.
Oh no.
On that note, like, yeah, we're hanging out, we're having a good time, we're being nice to each other. I know it's crazy.
Get over it.
Oh. Bold.
But
Very bold. I kind of wanted to just take a second and make this video with you guys and talk about how you guys feel too about this, how, you know, you can spend time with somebody that is an atheist, you know.
and a Jewish
man.
Now, Judaism does have...
No one wants to say Jew.
But no, it's okay. But Judaism has, well, some elements of it, has a very accepting questioning in faith. Judaism has an encouragement to wrestle with God, is actually the translation. Jacob. There you go.
Okay.
And so it's a little bit less blind faith, this is what I believe, in sort of the more acceptable questioning.
Yeah.
Now, that's not all Judaism, because there's some Judaism that's very orthodox
yeah.
and very different. But yes, everybody can have different opinions on things, and that doesn't necessarily mean you can't be friends by any means. I see faith as sort of the way that you or whoever, like, want to live your life, whatever kind of, like, helps you understand death, purpose, your role in this. So I don't know.
That's interesting. That's like a thing that I think I struggled with at the beginning in like talking about atheism, is that I focused a lot on just the belief system itself. And I think now it's more focused on how that affects like politics in the world and how people are treated, and it's less about how someone copes with things like you said, like death or
That's very real.
life and things like purpose. So it just...
And I think that's kind of what David's saying, is like how it should be, where you can have your own belief system and you can believe that to be right and want to share your beliefs because you want to help somebody else or give them the same comfort that you've gotten from your religion or from your beliefs. And at the end of the day, it's not anybody's job to look at someone else's faith or spirituality, like their belief system, and judge them for it, or like for having it, for not having it, whatever it may be, because they're just trying to get through life in the best way that they can. And like I said, of course, you can share your beliefs and you can have conversations and just be open to different ways of thinking and try to educate people on what you believe. But to judge somebody for being one religion when you're another, how would you feel if somebody judged you for that? How would you feel if they tried to take that away from you? I think that's what is really, really key to remember, is like, as much as your belief system means to you, that's how everybody else is feeling with their belief system or their lack of a belief system. Like if somebody's an atheist and you're constantly hounding them to change that belief, that doesn't feel good.
That's fine to me. I don't, you know, a lot of my family is religious. I'm sure you guys know that. I've talked about it before. Like everyone in my family, no, I'm the only one that isn't religious. So how would it be if I couldn't spend any time with family or have any of those relationships because they're religious? And
You can respect the other.
yeah, a lot of interesting conversation can happen. You know, imagine if you lived in a little bubble and the only people you could ever talk to just had the same exact thoughts and opinions as you. You would never be able to challenge yourself or think or grow or be influenced or influence someone else.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Jaclyn, because I was thinking about it. Some of our conversations perhaps are more challenging than if we were just hanging out with our Christian friends. But it is, and this might sound kind of weird, but I think it's just the reality, and maybe it's the same with you guys. Like, you all could be hanging out with friends that are very like-minded and it just feels so like fluid and easy. But with us, like, there are some significant differences, but it is a cool way to challenge ourselves to almost, you know, hear another side that has a different perspective, but also solidify what we believe, why we believe it. I think that's a good thing.
Something that I've learned probably over the past.
Yeah, I've said this multiple times. You cannot grow within a bubble if you only hang out with people who are exactly like you. Like Paul says, there's a certain comfort in that because you don't have to worry about something that you say like offending somebody or hurting their feelings or them taking you wrong, or you can just speak freely about how you're feeling because you know that people are all on the same page as you. But if we all just stuck with the same beliefs that we were taught growing up, we might miss out on a lot of cool information or learning new things, picking up new habits, stuff like that.
Last year, and even more so when my dad was in the hospital with COVID months ago, like, your perspective changes when you go through certain situations, and when you're around certain people and like your mind is open to a lot of different just thoughts and ways people think. And so I think that it is really cool to have friends who don't see eye to eye with you, who think differently on things, who respond in different ways. I think it's really beneficial to you to just grow as a human being.
One thing I think is cool is that when you focus so much, like for example on my channel, like I talk a lot about religion, it's easy to think that I villainize everybody that I disagree with, or people act that way, like Facebook, you can't be friends with somebody with a different political view on Facebook. Like my mom unfriended me. Oh no, like people, my mom didn't unfriend me. I'm just using that as an example. But that's just kind of how it is. People see things as very like black and white. Like you either have to be the same as me or we can't associate in any way. And I don't think that's how life should work. Mm-hmm. You know, I have a lot of friends that are conservative. I have friends that are religious, mm-hmm. and we're able to relate on other things. And I think that's healthy, because if you can't empathize with somebody at least that thinks differently than you, or care for them in any way, it's very dehumanizing. Yeah, and it's easy to villainize them, and that can start all kinds of problems.
Yeah, when you stop caring when someone is going through pain just because they have different beliefs than you, I think that's really dangerous and dark and heavy, and that will weigh on you as a person.
100%. I love this little part of that conversation. Just because somebody has a different belief system than you or different opinions than you doesn't mean that they are any less human or any less deserving of being heard or having a relationship with. Obviously, there are particular beliefs or stances that are hateful or harmful, and like those shouldn't be entertained. You know, you shouldn't give people a pass if they're actively causing harm. But I think a lot of us have lost this ability to say, we agree to disagree, and move on from that. You don't have to convince everybody to believe the same way as you. You don't have to only associate with people who believe exactly as you do. If you are comfortable in your own beliefs, you will be okay hearing somebody else's opinion and saying, that's interesting. I don't agree, but I hear you. You know, I hear where you're coming from. I get it, but here's how I feel. That's a healthy way to live. It is a sign of emotional maturity if you can hear somebody else's belief system and not feel like it's threatening yours. And if you can just look at another person, regardless of political association or religion, or if you're a Christian and they're an atheist, if you can just look at them and feel for them as a human, that is an incredibly mature and valuable trait to have.
If you start allowing yourself to be like that.
There's a specific memory I have. There was a girl I got interested in college, and she wouldn't date me because I was gonna go to hell. And I was like, I have
a lot of opinions on this particular section, but I'm gonna let them get through it, and then I'll go through all of them.
Like, to my face, and I was like, but I'm a good guy. I like volunteer. She wasn't gonna
volunteer. You're so cute. You're so cute. No, I mean, that's why you had to end up with me, right?
That was it.
I never told him I think he's going to hell. See? There you go. 2 peas in a pod.
When that happened, yeah, like, I guess, how did that make you feel? And then I do want to give kind of one Christian perspective to that situation.
I guess I just felt confused that I could be judged in that way, because maybe I hadn't accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. Sure. And
Jewish people don't typically do that.
No, it's fine. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know. I don't even think I remember her name.
I mean, I guess, like, I think I have a feeling where you might go with that.
Sure.
Is it like, if you have a certain thing that's really important in your life, then you would want to have like a partner that values the same thing, like similar values, I guess. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing. But I think, you know, like, I can't be with you because you're going to hell is a little bit harsh.
Pretty intense.
That's a whole vibe that I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
straight up said that.
It's a really difficult situation. Christians do look at a few different passages in scripture, but one in particular is the Apostle Paul says, like, believers, don't be unequally yoked, or don't yoke yourself with an unbeliever. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. And it is a tricky place. Like, we can come here and love hanging out with you guys and be friends, but then
but you're saying you don't want to marry David.
I would rather not.
That's a whole nother.
She's trying to cut it off before it gets too serious because this is supposed to be a lighthearted video. But the points that I wanted to make is with the girl telling David, I can't date you because you're going to hell. That's not okay. That's really aggressive, and it's not a religious person's place to put judgment like that on somebody else. At the same time, I can get where Paul's coming from, saying like, well, you know, it's probably just because the, you know, scripture says don't be unequally yoked. You should marry another believer if you are following scripture. I get that, but there's a way to do it that does not involve damning somebody to hell. And so I think that's the hurtful part. It's not like, oh, we believe different things and so she didn't want to date me. It was, she was judging my eternity, because I don't think there's anything wrong with saying like, you know, I have this thing that's really important to me, and you know, you don't align with that, and so you're a great person, but something that's really valuable to me in a relationship is having this shared value, and if you're not there, I will not be happy. And I know that that sounds really, really harsh, but it's important to know what you want. It's basically like knowing if you want to have kids. If you're somebody who knows like dead set, I will never, ever, ever want to have kids, you're not going to date somebody who wants to have 5 kids. You're not going to marry somebody who wants to have 5 kids because it's, well, I mean, you might, but more often than not, like that's a really important conversation to have before you make a lifelong commitment, so that way you can eliminate that problem. It just reminds me of being in college, dating a person who was not religious, and when we first started dating, he would kind of play along and like go to church with me, but the longer we were together, the more clear he made it to me that he didn't like doing that. It wasn't something that was important to him, and he didn't want to continue to be dragged to religious events. He didn't want to get dragged to Christmas Eve service or Thanksgiving service or, you know, church on Sundays and stuff like that. It just, he didn't like it. He didn't believe in it. And it was a real big point of tension in our relationship. And so later we broke up for a completely different reason, but being in that relationship made me realize my faith is really important to me, and I don't want to feel like I'm continually dragging my partner to these events. I want it to be that, you know, our religion is something that's important to both of us, and we can engage in it together and we can grow in it together. And I'm struggling with phrasing this because I know it sounds harsh, but it's honest. After that relationship ended, I told myself, okay, this thing was a real big problem for you, and you don't want to have that problem anymore. So going forward, you should only date people who are, at the bare minimum, open to learning about religion, or who have somewhat of a belief in God. And, you know, maybe they're not going to church every week, but they have that core value that's the same as you, and it can go from there. Or ideally, dating somebody who is a Christian and has, you know, kind of agency and ownership over their own beliefs too, so that way you guys are kind of on the same playing field. And I went on a few dates with this guy and, you know, found out pretty quickly that he was an atheist. And so I felt bad having to say, hey, we can't continue this relationship. And I'm sure he felt judged when I told him the reason why, because I'm not gonna lie, like, he was a nice guy. He was super sweet. There was nothing wrong with him. But I don't want to spend my time trying to change somebody else's views. And I'm sure he wouldn't have appreciated if I was sitting there trying to chip away at his beliefs, that being there is no God. That wouldn't be fun for him either. And I wouldn't be getting something that was important to me to have in a relationship. So all that's to say, I get making the decision not to date somebody because of a difference in beliefs. But the way that girl did it, not cool.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. It's a joke.
You guys get what I'm saying.
We both have the same yoke.
You guys are
not. It's the equally yoked thing. I was trying to. Anyways.
What?
That's no yoke.
Yoke's on you.
No yoke.
The yoke is on you.
I took your joke.
I'm still confused. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so I think we're gonna go do a marriage Q&A over on their channel. So
it's about to get interesting.
It's gonna get very spicy.
Ooh.
So thanks for watching. Make sure you like this video, share it everywhere. The world needs to see this. I'll link the video that we do to them over in the description below.
Thanks, Jaclyn.
Make sure you guys subscribe. Leave all your comments and thoughts about yolks in the comment section below.
She's gonna leave that part in? I wasn't sure.
I will see y'all in the next video. Bye! Bye. Let's do like a thumbnail. I'm keeping this whole segment in. It'll go in the vlog.
I like it. I like the collabs. I think there's a little bit of an air of tension because they're still, like, not only are they new friends where you're figuring things out, but they're new friends presenting themselves together on the internet who also have very, very different belief systems. And so you're kind of getting your footing in the friendship. But I do think it's really good on both sides for them to show, like, just because we have these differences in our beliefs and we're very much opposite, and that doesn't mean that we can't come together and have a productive relationship or even just a fun friendship. I think that that's really good. However, there were some comments on the video where people were disappointed that Jaclyn would hang out with Paul and Morgan and be so friendly with them, because a lot of their more conservative beliefs are bigoted. Like, just to be frank, I mean, I don't like making judgments like that on people or saying things like that about people, but in the past, Paul and Morgan have said some pretty close-minded things. So there was just one comment that I wanted to read kind of in rebuttal to those comments saying it's not okay that you're hanging out, because I think this person said it very poignantly. So his comment was left by Emily Hansen, and Emily said, "I, as a queer person surrounded by other queer people, completely understand where some of the commenters are coming from and that it feels wrong, maybe like a betrayal, to break bread with those who are homophobic and bigoted, etc. And yes, there's a difference between disagreeing on benign things and disagreement on human rights issues. However, I also came from a conservative, charismatic, evangelical family growing up. I never hated queer people, but I did say that being gay or trans was sinful long before I came out as queer or my sister came out as bi. It's what we were taught and the culture we were surrounded with. The biggest reason that I became a leftist, an atheist, an ally, and member of the queer community, besides my time in classes at university, is because I was friends with people who had different perspectives than I did. If I hadn't had queer and atheist friends, even as a conservative Christian, I don't know where I'd be now. Like Jaclyn said, you don't change your mind in a bubble. The only difference here is that these relationships are public and we get to comment on them." What more is there to say? I don't think that anybody should become friends with somebody with the sole intent of changing their beliefs or being like, well, I'm going to educate them and I want to be their friend because I'm going to make them better. I don't really think that that's a great way to approach a friendship, but you can just say like, hey, you're another human. We seem to get along fine. These traits or beliefs that you are exhibiting are not okay, but maybe as time goes on, just hearing other people's perspectives or seeing how other people live, maybe you'll start to change your mind. Because when you hang out with people who are exactly like you might be doing things and saying things that you believe are right because everybody else believes that they're right. And everybody else thinks that saying or doing these things is okay. And it's not until you step out of that and engage with other people who show you differently that it clicks in your head of like, well, these people don't say these things or don't believe that way. What's that about? So I think it's always good to engage with people who are different than you, who have different beliefs. It's a really great way to grow. And we've seen progress in Paul and Morgan from even a year ago to where they are now. They are open to churches that are not so much focused on signs and wonders, speaking in tongues, like being very charismatic. They are open to churches that worship differently, that aren't as extreme. I've seen, in my opinion, Morgan change quite a bit, and Paul too. And obviously we only see what's public. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But I feel like before Paul and Morgan got married, Morgan was very different. She had a very strong personality, and she still does. But I feel like she was self-motivated and comfortable doing things for herself and like taking charge and taking the lead. And then once they got married and started their YouTube channel, she kind of took a step back. And she seemed very muted and subdued and like she wasn't being herself fully. And I think for me personally, I blamed Paul for that. I was like, this is Paul. He's holding her back. He's telling her she needs to submit. Like, this is on him, and I definitely had a negative opinion on him. But recently, it seems like Morgan's stepping back into herself. She's stepping forward into kind of who she was before, and being more unapologetic about who she is. And Paul's allowing her to do that. Paul isn't trying to push her down, from what I can see. Again, you never know what's happening behind closed doors, but it's just really cool to see these little pieces of progress happening, and you can only hope that it continues, and you can only hope that it gets better from here. So I like the friendship. I'm here for it. It definitely is a little bit tense, a little bit awkward at some points, but what kind of friendship isn't? Especially when you first get started and you are so different in your core beliefs. You know, that's to be expected. And I hope we see more from them. So that's all I've got for this one. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this, if you like the friendship, if you think it's weird, if you see it as either of them betraying their communities. I want to hear about it. And while you were doing that, if you would consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel, that would be incredible. And if you're subscribed already, thank you so much. I am so appreciative of you, and I love being able to just sit here, hang out with you, and talk about whatever. As a reminder, merch is available now. Feel free to snag some so we can be twinsies, and I can see all of your cute faces on Instagram in hihoneyyt merch. And you can always email me if you have anything you want me to react to. You can reach me at hihoneyyt@gmail.com. And with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.